What if I told you there was a player so brilliant, so unselfish, and so electric that he didn't just play basketball, he transformed it? What if I told you there was a point guard who stood taller than most centers, yet handled the ball like it was tied to his hand with string? A man who refused to throw a normal pass because every dish, every dime, every flick of the wrist was an opportunity to put on a show. That player was Earvin "Magic" Johnson. More than a nickname, Magic was exactly what he brought to the court. From no-look lasers and full-court bounce passes to the famous Showtime fast breaks that turned the Los Angeles Lakers into the most exciting spectacle in sports, Johnson was basketball's ultimate showman. But behind the flair was also substance. 5 championships, 3 MVPs, 9 trips to the finals, an assist average that still hasn't been touched, and a rivalry with Larry Bird that resurrected the NBA from its struggling 1970s into the global powerhouse it is today. This isn't just the story of a point guard. It's the story of how one man redefined an entire position, elevated a franchise into a dynasty, and left behind records and moments that still feel untouchable. This is the story of the magician. Before he was Magic, he was just Earvin Johnson Jr., a tall, smiling kid from Lansing, Michigan. Born in 1959, Earvin grew up in a working-class home. His father spent long days at General Motors. His mother cleaned schools. Money was tight, but basketball was everywhere. On Lansing's cracked blacktops, Earvin wasn't just another kid running games. He was different. Taller, quicker, sharper. He wasn't content just to score. He wanted to make the game beautiful. He wanted to connect his teammates, to turn 5 individuals into one rhythm. Even then, passing wasn't just a skill, it was an art form. But his story took a heartbreaking twist in 1976. Just as Earvin's legend was growing at Everett High School, tragedy struck. His close friend and backcourt partner, Reggie Chastain, was killed in a car accident. The news shattered him. Reggie had been his running mate, the guy who taught him swagger, who played with a confidence Earvin admired. In grief, Johnson made a vow. He would dedicate his senior season to Reggie. And at first, he tried to honor him by scoring, a lot. He was dropping 45 points a night, tearing through defenses, imitating Reggie's bravado. But something felt off. His coach pulled him aside with a simple but life-changing message. "Earvin, you're scoring too much. If we're going to win a championship, you need to trust the team. Get everyone involved." That moment changed everything. From then on, Earvin shifted gears. Instead of hunting buckets, he became a maestro. He made the game about more than himself. He lifted his teammates, fed them confidence, and unleashed his gift for passing on full display. The result? Everett High School shocked the state, knocking off powerhouses like Brother Rice to win the 1977 Michigan State Championship. Earvin wasn't just a star anymore, he was a leader. And it was around this time that the world first heard a nickname that would stick forever. After a particularly dazzling 36-point, 16-rebound, 16-assist triple-double as a sophomore, a local reporter shook his head and wrote, "It was like watching magic." From then on, Earvin Johnson was Magic Johnson. By the time Magic graduated high school, he wasn't just a hometown hero. He was one of the most coveted prospects in America. Every major program wanted him. But there was a problem. At 6 feet 9 inches and 220 pounds, Magic was built like a power forward, not a traditional point guard. Most recruiters looked at his size and said, "You can dominate the post. We'll make you a forward, maybe even a center." But Magic didn't want that. He didn't dream of posting up under the rim. He dreamed of having the ball in his hands, of orchestrating, of creating. He wanted to be a point guard, no matter how unconventional that sounded at his size. Enter Judd Heathcote, head coach at Michigan State. Heathcote saw what others didn't. That Magic's true gift wasn't just his height or athleticism, but his vision. The way he saw the court 2-3 steps ahead of everyone else. Heathcote promised him this: "You'll run the offense. You'll be our point guard." That was all Magic needed to hear. He chose to stay close to home and suit up in green and white for the Michigan State Spartans. At first, his teammates struggled to keep up. Magic would whip no-look passes, laser bounces through traffic, lobs that seemed impossible. And the ball would hit guys in the chest before they were even ready. But once they adapted, Michigan State started to click. By his sophomore year, Magic was averaging 17 points, 7 rebounds, and nearly 8 assists per game, numbers unheard of for a college guard, let alone one standing nearly 7 feet tall. And that season, the Spartans made history. In 1979, Michigan State reached the NCAA National Championship game to face another rising star, Larry Bird of Indiana State. It wasn't just a matchup, it was destiny. On one side, Bird, the shy, stoic scorer from French Lick, Indiana, who carried a mid-major school to the brink of immortality. On the other, Magic, the charismatic floor general who thrived in the spotlight. Their clash became an instant classic. Over 35 million people tuned in, making it the most watched college basketball game of all time, a record that still stands. Bird battled valiantly, putting up 19 points and 13 rebounds. But Magic owned the night, delivering 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists while leading Michigan State to a 75-64 victory and the national title. The rivalry was born. Magic was now a national superstar, and the NBA was waiting. The summer of 1979. Two struggling NBA teams, the Chicago Bulls and the New Orleans Jazz, were banking on the luck of a coin. Back then, the league didn't have a draft lottery. Instead, the two worst teams in each conference simply flipped a coin to see who would pick first overall. The Bulls called heads, but fate had other plans. The Jazz had traded away their pick years earlier in a deal for Gail Goodrich. That pick now belonged to the Los Angeles Lakers. So when the coin landed tails, the Lakers, already stacked with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the most dominant center in basketball, suddenly found themselves holding the number 1 pick. And with it, they selected Earvin "Magic" Johnson. The basketball world was stunned. The Lakers didn't just land a franchise cornerstone, they landed the most electrifying prospect of the decade. From the moment he arrived in Los Angeles, Magic fit right in. The city of Hollywood wanted stars, and Johnson brought the glitz, the smile, and the flair to match. More importantly, he brought instant success on the court. In his rookie season, Magic averaged 18 points, 7.7 rebounds, and 7.3 assists per game. He recorded multiple games with double-digit assists, dazzling fans with passes that seemed to defy physics. He wasn't just running the Lakers' offense, he was reinventing it. But the true test came in the 1980 NBA Finals. The Lakers had fought their way to face the Philadelphia 76ers, led by Julius Dr. J. Earvin. With Kareem dominating inside, Los Angeles took a commanding 3-2 series lead. But disaster struck. Kareem sprained his ankle in Game 5 and was ruled out for the critical Game 6 in Philadelphia. Most thought the Lakers were finished. How could they possibly win without their superstar center? Magic had the answer. In one of the most legendary performances in NBA history, the 20-year-old rookie point guard stepped in at center. He played all 5 positions that night, guarding big men, running the fast break, controlling the tempo. By the final buzzer, Magic had recorded 42 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 assists. The Lakers stunned the 76ers, clinching the championship, and Magic, just a rookie, was named Finals MVP. It was the beginning of something the world had never seen before. Showtime was coming. The 1980s Lakers weren't just a basketball team. They were a spectacle, a nightly event, a full-blown Hollywood production disguised as 5-on-5. And at the heart of it all was Magic Johnson, the conductor of a basketball symphony known simply as Showtime. Showtime wasn't about grinding out half-court sets or slowing the pace to a crawl. It was about speed, creativity, and flair. It was about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar anchoring the paint, James Worthy slashing down the wing, Michael Cooper flying in for dunks, and Magic Johnson, orchestrating the entire thing like a maestro with a basketball baton. He'd grab a rebound, push the ball up court with his head on a swivel, and in an instant, a no-look laser, a behind-the-back bounce, a full-court chest pass through traffic. The forum would erupt. Fans didn't just cheer, they gasped. Because with Magic, every possession carried the possibility of something you'd never seen before. His wasn't just entertainment, it was revolutionary. At 6 feet 9 inches, Johnson was a unicorn. He was taller than most forwards, yet he ran the point like Bob Cousy on stilts. His court vision was so advanced, It looked supernatural. He could see passing lanes that didn't even exist until he created them. Defenses couldn't adjust because they didn't know where the ball was going until it was already in the hands of a wide-open teammate. Showtime wasn't just basketball. It was art. It was jazz. It was fast breaks that felt choreographed, highlight reels unfolding in real time. And in an era when the NBA was struggling with low TV ratings and dwindling public interest, Showtime Lakers games became must-watch television. Magic Johnson didn't just redefine what a point guard could be. He redefined what basketball itself could look like. And the results spoke for themselves. Championships, MVPs, records. But also something more intangible, joy. Magic played with a smile so infectious that it turned a sport into a performance, a team into a dynasty, and an arena into the hottest ticket in Los Angeles. The NBA had never seen anything like it. And soon, the rest of the league would find out just how unstoppable Showtime could be. After that storybook rookie season, the expectations on Magic were sky high. The Lakers had their young floor general. Kareem was still the most unstoppable big man in basketball, and the Showtime engine was revving. But greatness never comes without bumps in the road. The very next year, in 1981, Magic experienced his first real heartbreak. The defending champion Lakers faced off against the Houston Rockets in a short best-of-3 playoff series. The series came down to a decisive Game 3, and with everything on the line, the ball found its way into Magic's hands, the chance to be the hero. But instead of glory, he airballed the potential game winner. Just like that, the Lakers were eliminated in the first round. From rookie finals MVP to playoff GOAT, the whiplash was brutal. Magic was crushed. But that failure planted a seed. If he was going to be the leader of Showtime, he couldn't just rely on talent. He had to elevate his game, sharpen his focus, and refine his leadership. Then came the coaching drama. By 1982, the Lakers head coach Paul Westhead shifted the offense to revolve heavily around Kareem in the post, slowing down the Showtime pace that Magic thrived in. Johnson was frustrated. The system felt like it shackled the team's potential. After a heated argument following a loss to the Utah Jazz, Magic went public with his frustration, demanding either a trade or a coaching change. The media pounced. Critics painted him as a diva, as power-hungry, as a young star overstepping his bounds. But the Lakers front office listened. Westhead was fired, and assistant coach Pat Riley was promoted. That move changed everything. Riley fully embraced Showtime. He empowered Magic to run, to push, to improvise. The Lakers returned to their identity, and suddenly, they were unstoppable again. In the 1982 playoffs, Magic averaged a triple-double, 18 points, 11.6 rebounds, 10.3 assists per game, while steamrolling their way to the finals. Against the 76ers, Magic's brilliance shone once again. In Game 6, he dished out 13 assists as the Lakers claimed another championship, and Magic earned his second Finals MVP in just 3 years. But the NBA is never a straight climb to the top. In 1983, the Lakers were swept in the finals by the newly supercharged Sixers, led by Julius Earvin and Moses Malone. For all their flash and flair, Showtime had weaknesses, and Magic knew it. Painful setbacks, humiliating defeats, public criticism, these were the fires that hardened Magic Johnson. Because for every stumble, every doubt, he came back sharper, hungrier, and more determined to prove that Showtime wasn't just for highlights. It was built for championships. Magic Johnson wasn't just flashy, he was historically efficient. Behind the no-look passes and behind-the-back dimes were numbers that even decades later still stand as untouchable. Take May 15, 1984. Western Conference Finals, Lakers versus the Phoenix Suns. The stage was set for Magic to show off his mastery. And he didn't just deliver, he shattered history. On that night, Magic dished out 24 assists in a single playoff game. To put that in perspective, most point guards today celebrate if they crack 12 or 13 in the postseason. Magic doubled that. He saw openings that didn't exist until he willed them into reality. And that record, 24 playoff assists, still stands. Nearly 40 years later. But that wasn't all. For his career, Magic averaged 11.2 assists per game. No one else in NBA history has sustained that kind of playmaking night after night. Not John Stockton, not Chris Paul, not Steve Nash. Nobody. And it wasn't empty numbers. These were assists that turned into championships. Look at his finals resume. 9 appearances in 12 years, with 3 finals MVPs along the way. The Showtime Lakers didn't just win because they had talent. They won because Magic maximized every ounce of it. His knack for breaking records extended to versatility too. Remember his rookie finals performance? That legendary 42-point, 15 rebounds, 7 assist night wasn't just magical, it was unprecedented. No rookie had ever done that, and no rookie has come close since. Even in the regular season, his box scores looked more like cheat codes than stat lines. Nights with 20 assists, triple-doubles that felt effortless. Games where he scored in the 20s, rebounded in double figures, and still handed out double-digit dimes. Magic didn't just flirt with records, he lived in them. But the numbers only told half the story. What made them iconic was how he did it. Not a simple chest pass, not a predictable swing, but whips, spins, no-looks, lobs, bounce passes through impossible angles. Magic made the extraordinary look routine, and the box score proved it. These weren't just stats on paper. They were evidence of a player who bent the game to his vision and left behind records that continue to mock anyone who dares chase them. Some rivalries define players, others define eras. The battle between Magic Johnson and Larry Bird did both, and it resurrected the NBA. It started in the 1979 NCAA championship when Magic's Michigan State Spartans defeated Bird's Indiana State Sycamores in the most-watched college game ever. That spark carried straight into the pros, where the Lakers and Celtics became the league's main event throughout the 1980s. The 1984 finals reignited the feud. Boston had history on its side. The Lakers had never beaten them in the finals. Magic, usually steady, faltered in key moments, dribbling out the clock in Game 2, missing free throws in Game 4. The Celtics won in 7, and the headlines screamed tragic Magic. But Magic struck back. In the 1985 finals, after an embarrassing 34-point Game 1 loss dubbed the Memorial Day Massacre, the Lakers regrouped. Behind Kareem and Magic's orchestration, they defeated the Celtics in 6. For the first time, Los Angeles beat Boston for the title. The 1987 finals brought Magic's signature moment. Game 4, Boston Garden, the Lakers down 1. Instead of passing, Magic drove into the lane and dropped the famous junior skyhook over Parrish and McHale. Swish. Series clinched, legacy secured. By decade's end, Magic had beaten Bird twice in 3 finals matchups, but the rivalry was about more than rings. Together, they turned the NBA from a struggling league into primetime television. Showtime and Celtic pride became household words, and the league's popularity exploded worldwide. Magic versus Bird wasn't just about who was better. It was about how their duel lifted the sport itself. By the mid-1980s, Showtime was in full bloom, and Magic was its conductor. Los Angeles wasn't just chasing wins, they were chasing history. The 1987 season was Magic's masterpiece. Averaging nearly 24 points and 12 assists, he won league MVP and led the Lakers back to the finals against the Celtics. In Boston Garden, his iconic junior skyhook sealed Game 4, and Los Angeles claimed the title in 6. Magic took home his 3rd finals MVP, solidifying his place atop the sport. But the Lakers weren't finished. The 1988 playoffs were a gauntlet, 2 grueling 7-game series against Utah and Dallas, followed by the finals against the Detroit Pistons. The bad boys bruised and battered them, even taking a 3-2 lead. Yet Magic's 19 assists in Game 6 kept the dream alive, and James Worthy's Game 7 heroics sealed back-to-back championships. For the first time in nearly 20 years, a team had repeated as champions. Showtime wasn't just a style, it was a dynasty. Across the decade, the resume piled up. 5 championships, 3 MVPs, and 3 finals MVPs. Every fast break, every no-look pass, every Showtime run ended with banners in the rafters. Magic Johnson had proven that the flash and flair weren't gimmicks. They were greatness. After back-to-back titles, the Lakers aimed for a three-peat in 1989. But Pat Riley's decision to hold a mini training camp during the playoffs backfired. Injuries to Byron Scott and Magic himself left the Lakers shorthanded. The hungry Detroit Pistons swept them, ending the dream and signaling a power shift. Change was inevitable. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar retired in 1990 after 2 decades of dominance, leaving Magic as the unquestioned face of the franchise. But without the captain, Showtime lost some of its balance. The Phoenix Suns stunned LA in the second round, exposing cracks in the dynasty. Still, Magic wasn't done. In 1991, he delivered one of his finest seasons, averaging nearly 23 points and 12 assists to win his 3rd MVP. He guided the Lakers back to the finals, his 9th trip in 12 years. This time, though, the opponent was different. No Bird, no Celtics. Instead, a rising superstar awaited, Michael Jordan. The series was billed as a passing of the torch. Magic struck first with a triple-double in Game 1, but the Bulls dominated from there. Jordan's brilliance carried Chicago to its first championship, and a new era was born. For Magic and the Lakers, it was bittersweet. Showtime had defined the 1980s, but by 1991, the dynasty was giving way to the future. Magic Johnson wasn't just a basketball player, he was a phenomenon. A 6-foot 9-inch point guard who broke every convention, who smiled while dismantling defenses, and who made passing, the most unselfish act in the game, into its most glamorous weapon. On paper, the resume is untouchable. 5 championships, 3 MVPs, 3 finals MVPs, 9 finals appearances, and the highest career assist average in NBA history at 11.2 per game. No one has matched those numbers. No one has even come close. But Magic's greatness can't be captured by stats alone. His legacy lives in moments. The rookie who played center in the finals and dropped 42. The maestro who set a playoff record with 24 assists in one night. The junior skyhook in Boston Garden that silenced the Celtics and shook basketball history. And then there's what he meant to the game itself. Alongside Larry Bird, he resurrected the NBA. At a time when the league struggled for relevance, their rivalry turned it into must-watch television. Showtime became a spectacle, and Magic was the ringleader. His no-look passes and fast breaks weren't just highlights, they were invitations. He made basketball fun, global, electric. He wasn't simply a point guard. He was a conductor, a magician, a revolutionary. He redefined what the position could be. Not just the smallest guy on the floor, but the smartest, the most versatile, the leader in every sense. From LeBron James to today's new generation of oversized playmakers, the echoes of Magic's influence are everywhere. When the conversation turns to the greatest point guard of all time, there's room for debate, but there's also truth. And the truth is this: Earvin "Magic" Johnson didn't just play the position, he became the position. Magic wasn't just great, he was the greatest passer the game has ever seen.